Good morning, Year 6, and welcome to Wednesday the 27th maths lesson today. Okay, we're going to get our brains thinking about maths before we get on to looking at some examples of things that we need to be thinking about in our task work today. Okay, so I'm going to swivel my laptop round so that you can see the board. And on there is a grid. It's a 12 by 12. And you've got a clue here, it says times tables. So what you are going to do is you are going to multiply each of those numbers by the other. We've had a little go before. So your first box, 1 times 1, you'd put the answer in there. Okay, we've done these types of grids before. Now, if you normally work on book 1, 2 and 3, you're only going up to here. You're going to do up to 5 times 12. Okay, just this part. Okay, everybody else, you're going to have a little go at the whole grid. Now, what I would like you to do is give yourself a bit of a challenge like we would do in school. You can pause the video in a minute, set yourself a timer for 5 minutes. How many of those can you do? Hopefully, if you've been on your TT Rockstars, you're going to be super duper at it. Okay, now you can either draw yourself that little grid in your book, or you can just do your rows of answers. Okay, start a new line for each new row. Okay, whichever you're going to find easier in your book. So you're going to pause the video. You're going to set yourself a timer, 5 minutes, see how many you can get answered in that time. And then what I'm going to do is I'll tell you to move on, and you will be able to have a little look at the answers and see how well you've done. Okay, pause the video then, Year 6. Well, how did you do? Let's have a little look at the answers then, shall we? Okay, so you will need to pause the video again, have a good look at the screen in front of you. And how many did you get right? Did you complete them all in 5 minutes? Or did you miss somehow? Did you run out of time? But mark your answers and don't forget to let me know how you've done. Pause your video and mark. Okay, so today, those of you who normally work on book 3 and 4, you're working in year 4 book today. Those of you who normally work on book 4 and 5, you're working in your year 5 book today. But I'm going to start with those people who normally work on in book 1 and 2. You're going to be looking at your book 2, and you're going to be having a look at page 34. You're going to be having a little look at some statistic work today. So that's data and counting and working out what's got the most value, etc. So your first kind of question looks a little bit like what I've got on the board here. So you've got a random set of shapes, like I have here. I've got circles, I've got rectangles, I've got triangles. And then you've got a little grid and it says squares, circles and triangles. And you've got to count up how many you've got of each shape. Now, I'm going to challenge you a little bit because it says draw the shapes. I don't want you to. I want you to practice what we were doing the other day, which is tally marks, okay? Because when you come to question 4 in your book, you've got to practice. So if I was counting this and I was looking at tally chart, the tally marks, okay? So I've got my squares here, 1, 2, 3. So if I was recording that on my chart, I would go 1, 2, 3, just like that, okay? Now, circles, so if I write circles here, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So I would go 1, 2, 3, 4. And finally, triangles. Okay, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4 again. So I would write 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Now, if I added another dot in there, another dot, let's draw one here. Okay. I would now have 5. Okay. So if I have a look at my circles, I've now got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. How would I record that? I would put a line through that. Remember, we cross through the gate, and we've got 5 recorded there. So that's a little recap for question 1 and for question 4 at the bottom. But what I really want to concentrate on for you is this little activity here. Okay. Now, you have got a little chart, and it tells you the number of children. Okay, number of children, and it tells you what colour jumper they're wearing. Here, I've got the number of children, and I've got what type of pet they like. And by looking at this information, or by reading the numbers, as you've got in yours, okay, you can answer certain questions, okay? And you've got quite a few questions on your little sheet. So, for example, here, what's the most popular pet? Well, if I have a little look at my chart, okay, here, I've got 5. Here, because it's going up in ones, I've got 1, 2, 3. Here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Here, 1, 2. So I could say the most popular pet is a fish, okay? Because that's got 8. The column is taller than the others, but the number is bigger. There's more children, okay, who've got fish. So then, how many more children own a rabbit than a hamster? Because you've got similar questions to this. Okay, so there's a rabbit. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can you see the line here? 1, 2, 3, 4. And a hamster, 1, 2. So to work that out, I'm wanting to find out the difference between the two. So I will be calculating the difference between the rabbit, which is the bigger number, and the hamster. So 4 take away 2 is 2. So how many more children own a rabbit than a hamster? It's 2. Okay. So then if I have a look at another question, I've got what's the difference between the number of children who own a dog and the number of children who own a cat? So if I look on my chart, I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 children own a dog. 1, 2, 3 children own a cat. If I want to work out the difference, I'll take the lower number away from the higher. So 5 take away 3 equals 2. So 2 more children own a dog. And then finally, how many pets are owned all together? So when you say all together, it means that you've got to add up all the information on your chart. So I would be adding 5, add 3. So I've got 8 there. 5 add 3 is 8. Plus I've got another 4. So that would be 8 add 4 is 12. Okay. Then I've got another 8 to add, so 12 add 8, 20. And then I've got another 2 there, so 22. So how many pets are owned all together? I add each of the columns together, the numbers from the columns, and I would get 22 in that. So you've got some information and you've got some questions that you need to answer on that data. Okay. So hopefully you will fully understand what you need to do, and looking forward to seeing what you get up to. Okay. Right, the rest of you who are not on that particular book, you're going to be having a look at some money problems again. And again, we're thinking about the language connected because they're word problems again. So if I am asked this particular question, and I've just put my pen down, I've found it again now. Okay, so I might want to do, say I've got 4 pizzas and they are £5.75 each. So I want to know how much it's going to cost me. So I've got 4 pizzas. Okay. And I want to know they're £5.75 each. Okay, £5.75p each. Okay. So I could, for that, write £5.75 4 times and add it. That's one way of doing it. So I could do that. I could do it. And it would be a valid way of doing it. Okay. My arm would ache by the time I'd written all those down. But I could do a column addition and I could total those up. Okay. So you might look at something and have a little go that way. But I'd like to show you this way, a quicker way. Okay. So £5.75p, and I'm going to multiply it by 4. I'm going to use short multiplication. So I'm going to start here. 5 fours are 20. 7 fours are 28. 2 left over there, 2 to add on, so I'll put 2 there. Okay. 5 times 4 is 20 and 2 is 22. Okay. Now, I need to work out where my decimal point is going to go. Remember, a decimal point separates the pounds from the pence. So I've got 2 places after my decimal point here. So I count 2 in and I've got £22.80. Okay. So short multiplication, when you've got that kind of question, might be the way forward. All right. Now, you might also have something with where you're asked things like what is the total cost of something, of some items. Okay. So if I've got a jigsaw that is £4.46, okay, I've got let's say a book that's £1.30. I've got a rubber that's 55p. Remember how we wrote those yesterday? We said 55p. We haven't got any pounds, but to keep our columns in nice order, we put the 0 there to say we've got no pounds, but we've got 55p. So here, I do my addition. So 6 and 5 is 11. 7, 12, 13. Decimal point in 4, 5, and 1 is 6. Okay, so my total there would be £6.31p. So if you're asked what's the total cost of something, it's asking you to add up the totals. Difference, when you see that word, it means you're going to subtract. Okay, and then you might see things like how many times or how much cheaper is something than something else. And again, it's thinking about that difference. So if I'm asked, I'm going to go back to writing pence in pounds. So if I've got an apple is 57p, so I'm going to write it like that. and a fruit juice is 48p. Nice cheap cafe. Okay, how much cheaper is the fruit juice than the apple? So you might want to count on, and you might be able to do that mentally. If you can't, then do your column subtraction this time. Okay, just like we did the other day, we did column subtraction as well as column addition for our money problems. So 7 take away 8, can't do that here. So I'm going to knock next door. Now 17 take away 8, I get 9. 4 take away 4 is 0. 0 there, and I do my pound sign there. So it's 9p. Okay, 9p cheaper. So you might be able to do that kind of mentally in your head, but you might want to have a little go at a column addition. So you might also be asked questions such as, double a price or treble a price. So if you are doubling a price, that just means times it by 2, okay, or do a repeat addition. So you could do something like, I don't know, if you had £1.69 and you had to double that, I could do it. Mark that's appearing there, move you out of the way, don't need you. Okay, £1.69. Okay, let's make sure that that is lined up nice and neatly. Okay, £1.69, and I might want to just double it and do it that way. Okay, 9 and 9 is 18, 6 and 6 is 12, and 1 is 13. Decimal point in 1, 2, and another 1, 3. Don't always look if you've got anything that you need to add on. Okay, so £3.38. So I could do that. Okay. Now, it's a good method to do it, and you can do that nice and easily. Okay, so that's one way of doing it. You might be asked to treble. So that would be adding another £1.69. So if you're doing that, you might decide that I'm going to do that in a short multiplication way again. Okay, so £1.69, treble means times by 3. Okay, so 9 threes, 27, 6 threes are 18, plus 2 is 20, decimal point in. 1 times 3 is 3, plus 2 is 5. So £1.69 times 3 is £5.07. So what you've got to look at today is your methods. We have practiced them in the past. We've done column addition, we've done column subtraction, we've done using money and doing short multiplication and bus stop method division. So have a little look at those, okay, and see where you can answer those questions accurately. The other thing to just bear in mind is on one of your questions, you're asked to write, you've got a subtraction chart, and you've done similar ones, but this time you've got to write your answers in pence. So just to recap that, okay, just to recap. So if I've got £1.69, remember, £1 is 100 pence. So if I take out the decimal point, take off the pound symbol, I've got 169p. Those are exactly the same. So if I've got a question like this, okay, Say I've got £8.58 and I've got to subtract £3.39 and then I've got to give my answer in pence. Okay. Oh, I don't like that line. Let's try and make it straighter, Mrs Heavey, along here. Okay, so let's do our subtraction. I've got my columns all set up really nicely. So 8 take away 9. Can't do it, so I'm going to knock next door. Okay, so now I can. 18 take away 9 is 9. 4 take away 3 I can still do, that's 1 decimal point in there. 8 take away 3 is 5. I'll put my pound sign there. Okay, so that you can see. So I've got it written in pounds there, but just like up here, I've got to convert my answer to pence. So £5 is the same as 500 pence. 100 pence equals £1. So I've got 100, 200, 300, 400, 500 pence there. And I've got another 19 pence as well. So take out the decimal point, take off the pound sign from my answer, and I can write it. Okay, move my board down a little bit. That is the same as 519 pence. Okay, so good luck with your maths today, everybody. I'm sure that you are going to do absolutely brilliantly. It's just recapping today, lots of types of questions and the language. And just keep pausing the video, go back. Remember to read the question carefully. If it's asking you for your answer in pounds, do it in pounds. If it's asking it in pence, do it in pence. Double times 2, treble times 3. Look at the numbers you've been given. Is it quicker to do it as an addition, a repeated addition, or would it be quicker to use short multiplication? Okay, have a little look at them. I'm sure you're going to do well. See you tomorrow. Bye.